across all of Europe from Euromomo, the mortality database. So we're going to look at something very interesting first, and that's there's only one or two countries that have deaths in the younger age group above expectation during the original epidemic and this winter resurgence. So 15 to 44 years age group we're going to look at, and we'll see that in the original epidemic back in March, April 20 versus winter resurgence now, there's no real signal across all the countries of Europe pretty much for excessive death up to 44 years. So we can see there all the countries we are not anywhere near hitting or going over the red line in significance. The exception though is down here, UK, England. They nudged above in the original epidemic, and in the winter resurgence, substantial. So the UK stands out as the only country in Europe with excessive mortality up to 44 years. So we'll work backwards now, and we'll go 45 to 64 years. Again, we see Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, no significant mortality either in the original epidemic or in the winter resurgence, which you could see as the second half in ways of the epidemic. But look at the UK, huge impact in mortality original, and winter resurgence up to 64 years old, very substantial. So again, it's pretty much the only country in Europe showing this. Spain, original epidemic, had it, but not in the winter resurgence. And Portugal is the other exception. They had no original epidemic as such, but here we see very significant impact. So UK and Portugal up to 64 years of age in the winter resurgence, the only countries showing a substantial excess mortality in the age group up to 64 years. Perhaps Greece a little, but they had no original epidemic. And the second part, we're going to go into overall mortality 65 plus. Okay, 65 years plus in mortality, where the real epidemics are. So we see Austria did not trigger back in April. So winter resurgence is substantial because it kind of is the epidemic itself. Belgium had a split epidemic, a very big resurgence here in the aged group. Also, this is a heat wave. So Cyprus, nothing really. Denmark, nothing really. Estonia, Finland. Now we get France. Sizable original epidemic, more moderate resurgence triggered this season. Germany, really very little overall in excess mortality. Greece again, pretty clear. Hungary, pretty clear. Ireland, original epidemic, didn't affect all-cause mortality for the season at all, but it was there, and we're running really low mortality for the last few months. So this season it would look like, even with the winter resurgence now, is not going to be notable, it would look like. Israel, kind of different regions, so it's spread out differently. Italy, certainly split epidemic, triggered this winter. Luxembourg, nothing really. Malta, nothing. Netherlands, kind of split. And we get down to Portugal, extraordinary. No original epidemic, but this winter period, they're seeing it big time. Slovenia, no original epidemic. They're getting it all here. And Spain, moderate resurgence. Got it mostly here. Sweden, not much overall. Doesn't really impact all-cause mortality for yearly basis much, but they're getting a little resurgence here. Switzerland got it mostly this season. And England again, big epidemic and certainly a very sizable winter resurgence, the latter tail. And then Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales. Scotland got original epidemic, but generally speaking, winter resurgence, not much happening here. So UK, probably the most notable one for younger people passing and for the size of the resurgence, having had an original epidemic. And just a reminder that I do need support to continue putting together all of this content. And at patreon.com/Ivor Cummins, or for PayPal, please see the description below this video or the pinned comment, and you can do a one-off or a monthly support. So I'd really appreciate that, guys, and keep me getting the science out there and countering perhaps the more biased corporate type science. Thank you.